Good morning, everyone. Happy 2020. It's the beginning of a brand new year, and a lot of people start making New Year's resolutions or thinking of ways that they can make changes in their life for the positive for the upcoming year. It's also a time of year where people are looking at their bank account after a little bit of overspending in December and trying to see how they can trim the budget a little bit. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to feed a large family or even your size family on a bit of a budget to help you save a couple bucks here and there to make a little bit more in your pocket. Lately, I've been getting great deals at Flash Food. If you're unaware of what Flash Food is, it's a free app that in my town is connected to Superstore. Other towns might be connected to No Frills or another one under their umbrella. This little white half circle green leafy thing is the icon that you would download in the App Store. It's basically food that's getting close to expiry or that they have overstock on that they're maybe discontinuing and are clearing it out at about 50% off. Now, in my experience, they've been putting items up with still several days before their best before. So my main savings lately have been on meat. This week, I got a large pack, 2.5 kg of ground beef. This had a regular price of over $25 on it, and I paid just over $12. It had a best before of January 2nd on it, which was the next day, but the meat, I can tell, still looked quite healthy, and it didn't smell, and it wasn't expired, so I was happy with the purchase. Now, when I take a look at something like this, I try to think about how many meals can it make. Now, that's going to depend on your family size. We are a family of 7. We have 5 boys ranging in age from 1 through 12. So our grocery bill is high, not as high as it will be when they're all in their teen years. But for now, I take a look at this and know that this package of hamburger will make us 4 meals, likely with a little bit of leftover from each meal. We are trying to eat a little bit healthier this January after some large binging in December on sugar and carbs. So I thought that this could create a little bit of soup maybe for the week, as well as we always love tacos, so we eat that once a week. So I knew that a good chunk of this could get turned into tacos. I usually just grab out my largest skillet and it's able to fit 2.5 kgs of beef, so I just cook it all at the same time. Some people might portion it and then freeze it, but then you have to take it out, thaw it, and then start cooking it. So I like to cook it while it's fresh, then portion it, freeze it, and then when I pull it out, dinner can be ready in very short time. After it was browned, I threw about a quarter of the package in this pot with a bunch of water, some chicken broth, mixed stuff, and a whole bunch of shredded cabbage, I guess it's shredded coleslaw mix, to make a really basic hamburger veggie soup for this week for easy eating that's a little bit healthier than what we've been up to. We used to always purchase those pre-ready taco kits, the ones that come with a little package of wraps in it, some taco seasoning, and some salsa stuff that's kind of like a ketchup consistency. We always found the wraps really small and it was never enough for our family. So now we just purchased the large package of Clubhouse taco seasoning from Costco. I can't remember how much this is. It's around $5, but it makes several meals worth. It's about 6 tablespoons per pound of meat, so I just hunked in quite a bit into my pan with 3 cups of water. Got it all bubbling, and this made 3 1-pound, approximately a little bit over a pound, meals of taco beef that I portioned out for the freezer for our family. Here they are, all ready to go. Our family loves tacos. We've got some picky eaters, so we do Taco Tuesday at our house. So we do it once a week because it's a successful meal for our kids. Everybody likes it. They can kind of create their taco the way that they want, so there's no complaining. It's also a great leftover thing to have in the fridge. With schools being nut-free, a small taco with some cheese and some lettuce, maybe a little salsa or sour cream rolled up, is great for the lunchbox for the next day. And here's my basic soup, all portioned up as well. Some went in the freezer, some went in the fridge. We try not to put too much stuff in the freezer. If you're not going to consume it within a week or two, don't buy it. It's not going to stay super fresh in the freezer. It will eventually freezer burn, and that really is just money down the drain. So make sure what you are putting in the freezer is something that you're going to eat eventually soon to keep it at its freshest. I also did a bunch of veggie prep this week. Now, none of this was on sale. This was just regular produce from Superstore. But I want to point out these Tupperware veggie, I think they're called Smart Keepers or something like that. They help produce stay longer. So it was a bit of an investment purchasing the containers, but I find now our produce stays fresh for a week or two longer than it normally would just sitting in the fridge in the crisper. The lettuce container is absolutely jumbo, but it fits the full 6-pack of romaine that you can either get at Superstore or Costco. So I love it. It keeps the lettuce really fresh. I'm not dealing with wilty lettuce after a few days. The next one up there you can see is celery. Celery is another product that goes rubbery so quick, but not in these containers. This celery will stay crispy for weeks. Then cauliflower, and the one on the very top has broccoli and Brussels sprouts. There is a guide on the container that shows you which vegetables are compatible with each other. So Brussels sprouts and broccoli both needed the same amount of ventilation so they can snuggle together in their little container for the fridge. Now, I don't always do this much food prep at the same time for the week, but it made sense to make the soup and the taco beef at the same time because that was all out of that one large pack of hamburger. So if you remember, I paid just over $12 for that hamburger. So I have 6 double bowls of soup and I have 3 1-pound and a bit meals worth of taco beef for my family. So that feeds our family of 7. So I'm looking at there 3 meat meals, as well as 6 lunches for probably my husband and myself to share for $12. So that's the meat portion of our dinner for about $3 each if you count for a little bit in the soup. In this day and age, with meat being a pretty big part of a grocery bill, this is a significant savings. Another thing I grabbed at that same flash food pickup were these pre-cooked turkey breast strips. So I picked these up on January 1st and they had a best before, you can see there, of January 4th. They're sealed. I really don't feel as though they would become unfresh as of January 4th, but I grabbed 4 packages, a couple for the fridge, a couple for the freezer, to make super quick salads or wraps for this week. I've flipped to a keto type eating plan for the month. So these are also really good, just protein little pieces of snack to grab out of the fridge. If I'm feeling snacky and I'm worried about maybe going over carbs, these are 0 carbs. So there is a way to eat on a healthy meal plan and on a budget as well. Eating on a budget does not mean eating processed foods from the pantry. You just have to shop for the right deal. And look at this pack of chicken, you guys. All right, so this was $38.13 regular price. I purchased it for about $15 off of the Flash Food app. This is 3 full-size chickens. It's a little bit intimidating looking at this much chicken. I think most people would probably look at this, go, okay, that's 3 chickens to pull apart and put into the freezer individually. So they would rip the package open, separate them, and freeze all 3 chickens individually. If that was me, honestly, to have a full frozen raw chicken in the fridge and having to thaw it out like a turkey to cook it, I probably wouldn't do it. So I love to use one of these Rival plug-in roaster ovens. They sit on your counter. You can turn the temperature up as hot as an oven goes. They cook things really quickly, I find, and super moist because the moisture is contained within the lid. So this is how I've been cooking up these great deals of these 3 packs of chicken all at the same time. What I do is give my sink a quick wash, put the chickens in there and give them a rinse. Then I pat them down with paper towels. I'm not exactly sure why you pat it with paper towels, but that's just what the Pinterest instructions tell me to do. I'm not sure if maybe it makes the seasoning coat stick to the skin a little bit better. Then I just throw them into the roaster. Nothing fancy. I don't put anything in the cavity. I just stick them in the roaster on the little wire rack on the bottom. This one here, I chopped up an onion for the top. I put in some chunks of butter just because butter makes food taste awesome. Sprinkled a little bit of everything seasoning on it, some oregano, a little salt and pepper, and turned it on. We were going to be leaving the house for a New Year's party, so I turned it on quite low, about 250, knowing that we would be gone for a few hours. When I returned home 4 hours later, they were fall off the bone, awesome and tender. Normally I would cook them at 350 and it would only take an hour and a half or 2 hours. So here they are in all their cooked crispy glory. So let's remember, I only paid $15 for all 3 of these, so $5 for each chicken. Now the way Flash Food works is you can share around your referral link. And for each person that uses your link to download the app for themselves, they get a bonus $5 to spend on their second grocery order. And it gives the referrer a $7 credit. So when I went in to purchase this chicken and the other items I bought, I was showing that somebody had used my referral link. So I had a $7 credit. So I actually really only paid about $8 for all of these chickens if you account for the $7 that came off my bill. It felt like an amazing start the car deal. Okay, so then I just took a pair of tongs and a fork. Everything was so fall off the bone. I peeled the skin back because we don't like the skin. Used the tongs and it pulled out the entire carcass right off the meat. It just fell right off. So I pulled out the chicken breasts and put them separately, a couple as a double pack and a couple singly, just into some containers for the freezer. All of the legs and back pieces and wings I threw in the large Tupperware square there, and that was going to be made into soup the next day. So as I mentioned, our kids are still fairly small. So when we cook a meal for our family, 2 chicken breasts is usually honestly enough to make a meal for us. My husband takes a lot of food on the train with him when he's working. So he uses chicken breasts as a good, easy, warm-upable meal with some veggies. So that's why I like to portion individual ones for the freezer as well. The next morning, I diced up just some basic veggies, carrots, celery, and onion. Fried them up a little bit in a pot to get ready to make a quick basic soup. I took the chicken that was in the white square container. That was all the meat that was on the legs, the wings, the back, just all the extra meat that wasn't chicken breast, and diced it up. I find the leg meat, the darker meat, makes really good soup because it adds a little bit extra flavor than just chicken breast. Threw it all in, just added a little bit of seasonings and some chicken stock, filling. So let's all be like this little piggy here, not spending, but saving. Check for your grocery deals. A lot of people are intimidated using paper coupons. Lately, a lot of the stuff I've been showing you has not been paper coupons, so this is something that everybody can do. I highly encourage you to keep an eye at your store for great deals. Check your flyer, see if there's points offers. And if you have the Flash Food section available at your store, keep an eye on it. I check it every day around 10 a.m. and about twice a week go in and get an amazing meat deal for my family. Like I said, that hamburger only worked out to about $3 per meal to feed my entire family of 7, plus all those soups being $1 or so per bowl for me, not even. And when I look back at all this chicken, the soup was so cheap to make, and I made about 10 good servings full. This amount of chicken will make 2 full family meals, as well as 2 meals for my husband for the road. So even keeping it at the $15 price that was listed, it's making it less than $5 a meal to feed my large family for fresh home-cooked food. That's pretty awesome. And of course there is ingredients for the side dishes and things, but we know that the meat is the main cost. So that's my little bit of food ramble for today. I just wanted to show you a little bit about what I do with these large packs of meat. I know it can feel a little bit intimidating to people looking at that portion going, oh, it's a great deal, but that wouldn't work for our family. If you're a family of 2 or 3 or just yourself, you can still make these deals work for you. Just look at your recipes for the next couple weeks and see how you can incorporate this food into your recipes so that you're shopping once or twice and shopping smart. If you haven't yet subscribed, do so now so you can stay tuned and keep up with us as we try to save money in this 2020 year to help keep more money in your pocket. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.